Hello, everyone, and welcome to Everything Iconic with me, Danny Pellegrino. I'm here with the stars of Catfish, Nev and Kamie. How are you both doing? Kamie, we'll start with you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. One day at a time, double vaxxed.
Makes me happy. Nev, how are you?
I'm doing, 2 days at a time. That's how good I am.
2 days.
So, that's good. Nev, this Catfish thing, when you started it with that documentary so many years ago, did you imagine you'd be creating this word and this world? Like, did you know that this would snowball?
100%. The whole thing was planned out, and I even knew that the pandemic was going to happen.
Live.
And that we would do a whole season virtually. Yeah, I'm telling you, I've just been a visionary since day one. So yeah, I knew it was coming.
Okay, but all jokes aside, it must be gratifying to see what it's become.
Yes, it is. It is genuinely a delight and a surprise every time we film an episode and every time a new episode airs, because the fact that I get to do what I'm doing, which I really believe is helping people. I don't think of myself as some sort of saint, but I do think we're getting people answers to the questions they have. We're also helping people tell the truth and have some accountability and own up to their mistakes or whatever it might be. And I think in making the show, we're also then helping people who are watching potentially avoid having it happen to them. So it's amazing that I get to make the show, and it's so much fun to do, and I get to work with Kamie, and that people love it. And I feel very lucky.
Well, we love Kamie. I speak on behalf of everyone. I love that when Kamie joined. And Kamie, did you watch? I'm sure you must have watched before you officially joined the show.
Oh, yeah. I feel like, Catfish raised me a little on the younger side. I'm only 28. So when the documentary came out, I think I was in my freshman year of college or like right before that. And I remember watching it and being like, oh, my God. Like, I don't think that we really thought that people were talking to people on the internet that weren't them. Like, I think I knew, like, phone chat rooms, like, okay, somebody could be like putting on a little bit of a persona or like a different personality. But I don't think that we genuinely believed that the people that we were talking to on the internet weren't who they said they were. I remember being in like, those little penguin chat rooms, like, age, sex, location, like, but then I would also lie about my age. I was like 14 and I'm like 23, Los Angeles.
Hey.
Like, we don't think about it at the time. We weren't thinking about catfishing as if it was an actual thing that people did with their lives. So even watching the show unfold, it gets crazier and crazier every single time.
Right. There's a show called Pen 15 on Hulu, and it's set in 2000, I believe. And they did an episode about AOL Instant Messenger, and it was the sort of start of catfishing in a weird way, but it was a totally different form. And Nev, I'm curious, how have you seen over the past years since you made the documentary, how has I don't want to say art of, but how has the process of catfishing, do you think it has changed or evolved?
It's interesting. I haven't made a precise analysis, but my instinct is to say that it almost hasn't changed at all. And that remarkably, one of the sort of fundamental qualities that exist inside of every human is this ability to believe what it is you want to believe, no matter what. And so I think there are just certain people who are more susceptible and sort of vulnerable to deception. And it doesn't even matter. I mean, with all the technology we have, it's so easy to know who you're talking to. And yet, if you're not trying to find out the truth, you don't care how little information you're getting. It's almost better the less you get, because you're happier imagining that what you're getting is what you want. So it's not that much harder to catfish now than it was back then, because if someone's willing and ready to get catfished, it doesn't matter.
Right. Kamie, I'm curious, what have you sort of learned? This is a heavier question, but about the human condition after coming on full time? Because I feel like even just watching this show, I'm learning about how people sort of situate themselves in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think one important thing for even viewers to recognize is like, you only see 45 minutes of days worth of shooting and understanding this person and getting to know them that we get. And it was very difficult for me at first, you know, coming on. Obviously it's a fun job, it's a fun show to watch, but I'm an empath at heart. So it is a lot, taking on a lot of that energy and just, you know, hearing some of these stories that can be really, really heavy at times. And I remember when I first started, you know, even friends that would watch the show just for fun when it wasn't even Max, they're like, how do you not laugh at these people when they're telling you these crazy stories? And I'm like, well, if you were in that room and like listening to what they were saying, you wouldn't laugh, because a lot of it is really, really heavy. And I think I've just learned that empathy goes a long way. And sometimes it's better to just listen and come from a place of trying to understand versus trying to judge and demean and degrade. Yes, there are times when, you know, I have to come for people because that's called accountability. But at the end of the day, I think we try to land at you know, a place of understanding and love and respect.
Right. Nev, I'm sure you get asked this all the time, but I'm very curious. Why do you think people say yes to signing these releases and coming on this show? And why?
Yeah, I get asked that a lot, but I think more than that, I just think about that a lot. And the best answer I could probably give is, we just filmed an episode a couple of days ago where at the end, the Catfish, whose biggest lie was actually their age, which I don't know if we've ever had an episode like that. Anyway, he was very concerned that we would come for him and really give him a hard time and judge him and be tough on him. And while we obviously discussed the issues and pointing out his mistakes, we were very objective and open-minded to hearing from him and letting him sort of tell his side of the story. And he said at the end, he said, I just wanted to say thanks to you guys. I really didn't know what to expect. I thought maybe you'd be harder on me, but this experience was so positive. I got to tell the truth. I got to talk to this person I've been wanting to talk to, sort of let this burden off my chest, and I can't imagine it going any better. And so I think that's sort of the hope, is that Catfish can come out from behind their lies. They can apologize or whatever their plan might be. In some cases, obviously, they want to sort of humiliate someone, unfortunately, but whatever it might be, they accomplish their goal. And in most cases, have our support. And obviously also our constructive criticism at times. But we're pushing people to be honest and be real and to hopefully feel better about themselves in the end. So I think that's mainly why.
Kamie, I'm curious if you've seen a boom of this during the pandemic, because now everything has become virtual. I mean, we're doing this interview virtual, whereas normally we'd be in person. And now I wonder, do you think there's a boom in it?
Definitely. I've seen more of my friends even questioning whether or not they're being catfished by people that they meet on dating apps. And, more and more people are flooding in with DMs. Nev's been saying, like, we're curious to see what happens next year. Like, once things are opened up and people have more time to talk to these internet friends, I think that in, next season is going to be when we really see the effects of what this pandemic has brought. But I definitely think that, this time has allowed people who would have never probably gone on a dating app to begin with, because maybe they had a flourishing dating life in their city. Good for them, because I got a lot of friends in LA that are looking for a date. Now those people are more likely to get on apps, and they don't have the tools. Like they don't realize or know or think like, oh, I could be getting duped by somebody that I just met on this app. Because they would pull those kinds of guys in real life, or girl, whatever. They would pull those people in real life. So they're not thinking that they would get on the internet and it not be the same.
Right. Nev, I feel like as the show has gone on, people must have learned different tips and tricks as well as they're catfishing. And we've seen on the show, there's always, I feel like every season there's an episode or two where it becomes next level and you think like, how did, it's something surprising. What do we have to look forward to this season is what I'm trying to get at.
I think this season, because it's so much rooted in the sort of heart of quarantine and the pandemic, brought about a lot of situations with people who were already involved with each other. We saw a lot of relationships kind of called into question via mischievous internet profiles and relationships. And I think that's really interesting to see how, when you're not distracted by your regular routine, and when you delete the sort of social interactions and friendships of socializing and things like that, and you're just sort of forced to stay in your home or house or place with your person, you have to find ways to I don't know, occupy your time, but also it raises questions about the relationship. And sometimes one might feel like the best way to find an answer to that is to create a sort of external force or person or profile to stir the pot,
Are you guys getting back to in-person stuff? I mean, I'm not sure if you're in production yet for the next season, but
We are never not in production. That's the funny part. We've been filming nonstop since the start of the pandemic, and I don't know when we're ever going to stop, but Nev and I are in person now. So that's nice, because before, we've all just been on Zoom, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, we can't meet up or travel or,
Right.
I think we're hoping though that by maybe sometime this summer or fall, we will be.
Right. Mm-hmm. My favorite moment is, of course, the fat ass Kelly Price, which has become a meme in and of itself. And do you have a favorite moment, Nev, throughout the years? Is there something that sticks out?
Favorite moment.
Kamie, if you have one that sticks out.
Well, I like it when, my son was clapping with Justin. Yeah. I actually find my favorite moments are usually when either Max or Kamie kind of lose their cool. I love that.
Every episode?
That's the most fun. So like when Max there was one episode where he walked out on the Catfish because he didn't like the way he was acting. I love that moment. And Kamie, when you got into that fight with Ashley, I love that. I love that stuff. I love being around confrontation.
Right, because he gets to be like
and not involving me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's the good guy.
Yeah. You guys, I want to wrap this up, but has any celebrities reached out to you? Have any celebrities reached out to you guys? I'm sure there have been some. We've seen a little bit on the show, but is there anyone that has reached out to you that maybe we don't know about?
I mean, I saw Chris Brown at a party the other day, and he said that he watches the show, and he watched the episode that I was on where the girl we were helping thought she was talking to Chris Brown for 2 or 3 years. And he was like, you would not believe how many girls show up at my house in LA thinking that they've been talking to me on the internet, and they haven't. But, I don't know why, people are able to get celebrities' addresses like that. At Los Angeles is kind of like the place to know where celebrities live. So I was shocked, because I was just like, this is a thing outside of the show. And he was like, you would be amazed.
Right. Did you follow the Dina Lohan of it all? Did you guys?
My God, we're just talking about that.
What was going on there?
I got reached out to when that whole thing was happening, because there were a number of women who had negative experiences with the guy that she's in a relationship with. And I was hoping that I could help tell their story and also educate Dina as to the sort of truth about this guy. It hadn't happened, but it might still happen. And I'm still involved and hoping that I can be of some assistance. So we'll see.
I know I said I'm wrapping this up, but at what point would you tell a friend if they're talking to someone and they haven't met in person? When would you step in and say, you need to either figure this out or you need to get out of this?
Immediately.
Yeah, I mean, pretty early, I would say. But it's easy to say that when it's
Right.
not happening to you.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell a friend who's so happy and has this wonderful person who's messaging them all these lovely things and making them feel good. Like, you should stop talking to that person.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's important that friends help their friends, whether with or without their permission. So if you can get some dirt on the guy or girl and do some of your own research and find some actual info and then present it instead of just saying, oh, well, I think you're probably getting catfished, but you gotta come with some facts, you know?
Right.
Yeah. My sisters think that I'm like way too paranoid. Like one of my sisters has been Snapchatting this guy. I hope my mom's not listening. She's gonna be like, which one is it? But she's been Snapchatting this guy she met on Hinge. And I'm like, have you FaceTimed with him? It's been 2 weeks. And she's like, no, but like I have him on Snapchat. And I'm like, but you haven't FaceTimed him. And she's like, but I have him on Snapchat. I'm like, that's not enough. Do you know what's out there? And she's like, okay, Miss Catfish, like it's okay. Like, you know, not everyone's out to get everyone, but you have to, everyone is a suspect.
No, but I think everyone is a suspect. If I learn anything from the Scream franchise, that's it. Kamie.
Yeah.
Now I ask every guest this, so I just want to wrap this up by saying, what's your favorite Mariah Carey song? And then also, if you were choosing for People Magazine Sexiest Man Alive, who would you choose? Nev, you can answer if you'd like, but
Wait, Kamie should go first. Yeah.
Okay.
Mariah Carey song. First of all, there's so many.
I know.
Oh my God. Probably Baby Doll. That would probably be me. You know, I dressed up as Mariah Carey for Halloween.
Kamie, I know. And also, I love that you gave me that answer because I ask every single one of my guests this, and most people say "All I Want for Christmas Is You," which I understand.
God.
It's a great song, but I just
No,
I
come on.
appreciate
Yeah.
I appreciate when somebody gives me something juicy or different about it.
Baby Doll and Sexiest Man Alive. Obviously, I'm gonna pick Nev.
Oh, stop.
Okay,
Hair,
besides
the
Nev.
full chest hair cover. Besides Nev, and besides my boyfriend. Oh my God, I don't know. Oh, probably Lil Nas X.
Great answer. Love it. Love it. He's so sexy. Yes.
Yeah.
And Nev, if you'd like to answer those questions, we'd love to hear it.
Are you running?
Is that when you
honestly-
believe?
Yes,
Oh.
that is the jam. I rewatched Prince of Egypt over quarantine, and I was like, I cried.
It's
I
so
cried.
good. You know, they only performed that song live twice. It was like I think the Academy Awards and Oprah.
Yeah.
Iconic.
There it is. Anyway, so that's
guys-
definitely my fave.
You're speaking right to my heart. You too.
Yeah.
And sexiest man alive. Who do I have a crush on?
So many
A
people.
lot to choose from.
What
I mean,
about
I don't know,
Follow
it's-
Me
it
the
does-
other day?
It does sound. It sounds a little like whatever, but I have to say, Harry Styles at the Grammys kind of got me.
Yeah, he's sexy.
Okay, yeah, same.
He's got he's got an energy to him too. It's just
Yeah.
a sexy energy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much for taking the time. It was truly a pleasure. And I want to encourage everyone, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, to like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff, and find me and them on social media and watch Catfish on MTV. I'm so excited for the whole season. Thank you
Tuesday
so
nights.
much. Tuesday
Thank
night.
you.